as regular people try to understand the virus and how we might treat it or cure it, there's an opportunity to learn more about how the human body works, the immune system, the normal workings of the body. We've been reading that the vaccine that's furthest along is an RNA vaccine. Now, can you explain in the most kid-friendly terms possible how an RNA vaccine works and how it maybe differs from a typical vaccine?
Well, I think first you have to go back and talk about what the genetic code of all life is. That everything that is living has in common what we call genes. And genes are certain building blocks of knowledge and function that makes you look like you look, how tall you are, how short you are, what the color of your eyes are, and all kinds of things. And the way those building blocks, those genes do it, it's made up of a substance called DNA. And what DNA does is that's where the code is. So if you want to make skin or make something that repairs your body or even develops you as a human being, these codes make protein, but they can't make protein directly. What they do is they send out messages, and these messages are called RNA. And the RNA then is the signal to make a particular protein. So let's say the protein is your own blood to keep you alive. You have the genes, the codes, that codes for an RNA. The RNA codes for a protein, and the protein is the thing you want to make. That could be anything. So how does that relate to a vaccine? With a vaccine, what you want is you want the body to see a part of the virus that induces in it a response to ultimately protect you. Now, when you get infected, you can get sick or you can get mild symptoms, but when you recover because the body did something to get rid of the virus. It made what's called an antibody, which is a protein that when it sees the virus, it attacks the virus. Your body makes that. So when you have a natural infection, the body responds to that natural infection by making all of these proteins so that the next time you get exposed to that virus doesn't have a chance. Proteins, boom, they attack them like an army attacking an enemy. So when we make a vaccine, we've got to mimic natural infection, but we don't want to make you get infected. We want to do something that's really safe so that your body will make all of these antibodies, but it won't need to get sick. It could do it by getting a vaccine. So what you do is you get the genetic code of the virus, the building block genetic code. And in that genetic code is going to be a gene that's going to code for an RNA, which is going to make the protein on the virus that you want the body to make a response against. So how do we do that? We isolate the virus and we get the genetic code, and it's the sequence of all the genes. And you look at it and you say, I want to take that gene and pull it out, and I want to make RNA to make the protein that I want to make my vaccine. So you get the DNA, you code for the RNA, and you stick the RNA in a way that you give it to the person. And when that RNA gets in your body, what does it do? It starts coding for protein, and it starts spitting out protein. The body sees the protein, thinks it's the virus, but it's not the virus. It's only one protein of the virus. But the body doesn't know that. The body says, I'm going to make a response against this bad guy anyway. So it makes an antibody response to this protein. And then all of a sudden, you have in your body all of these antibodies that natural infection would have done. So that when you get exposed to COVID, your body's going to just go boom and get rid of those viruses. That's what a messenger RNA vaccine is.